guys, Scott here from Outlaw Garage. We've got something a little bit different hitting the channel today. Normally it's Porsches galore. However, we're here introducing Ferraris to the channel for a change. We're here with a collection here in Melbourne and we're going to go for a spin in a very special car. I think you can see some behind us, but we're here with Scott, the owner of these amazing cars, and we are going to go for a spin in this today. As we said, we're with Scott. We've hidden away from Ferraris in the past on the channel, and we've had a bit of a chat about it today, that it's predominantly a Porsche channel, but we are branching out today, and we are in Ferrari heaven. I suspect this might be for a number of people with a collection of cars in here. We won't spoil the selection to start off with, but we're going to take a bit of a tour with Scott here, and then we'll venture out outside there and we'll take a look at the cars out there, but we'll go through them one by one before we get to the special race car at the top, and we'll have a bit of a tour.
No problem. Welcome to my shed.
Yes, and what a shed it is. Suzette's sat over there watching the racing as we go, and we've got a few here, and we've got a simulator over there which we'll kind of talk about because it is associated with the race car up there. So where do we start? I guess we start with the Lusso.
My beloved daily. Got this one earlier in the year. It's a car I've been looking for a while because it had to be black. As you've noticed, there is some sort of a theme, at least on the ground floor.
Yeah.
And it had to be V12. I love a V12. So we were looking for one of these for a while, and one became available earlier in the year. So my beloved F-Type R went away, and this took its place.
Oh. That's quite a change from the F-Type R then to this.
It is. They're very different drive, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But this is a beautiful car to drive. It's so restrained. It's a good way to put it. It's a beautiful, gentle drive. There's so much power under the hood though, and the car just cruises along 1100 revs in 7th gear until you don't want to do that anymore. And
that's really low.
Yes. Yeah. People think that there's a misunderstanding about V12s. I think that they're huge petrol guzzlers, but the engines do so little work that they're easy to maintain. They don't get worn out most of the time. They don't use much petrol, so they're actually quite a good proposition. Very green, some might say. I don't think so, really.
Yeah. So we're just saying matte black wheels. There we go. There's the interior. The tan and the black is a very classic look, isn't it?
Yeah, it is very classic Ferrari, that one.
There's the Lusso.
And it has actually got a functional back seat. You can get two grown-ups in there as long as they don't want to move their legs too much.
Okay. Yeah, because that passenger seat is quite far back at the moment, so if it was nudge forwards a little bit, and they're quite bucketed, aren't they? So you could get your bum slides back nicely.
Yeah. TDF is my pride and joy. TDF for me is it's the forever car. People we have the car club conversations about if you could only have one car and it was forever, what car would it be? And I just point to that car and say it's that car. I will never sell that car. I love it. I love everything about it, and it's very special. Every time you drive that car, it's an event. So,
and we will get this one out. I think this one is definitely worth. Got to get this one out in sunlight and have a look at it.
Scott, if that's your drug of choice for the day, we'll hook you up. No problem.
Spec-wise, so details.
Yes. This colour is called aluminium opaco.
Okay.
The Ferrari guys love their colour names. So that's Nero, aluminium opaco, both cars. There's only in this model of this colour, there's 5 in the world.
Oh wow.
Yep. So there is 1 in Monaco, 1 in the UK, 2 in America, and 1 here. And
wow.
So for me, it kind of makes it a little bit more special. But when I first saw the one in Monaco, I just instantly fell in love.
Yep.
And the Dreamline's or GT stripes, depending on how you like to call them. This is the only one in aluminium parquet that's done those lines.
Ah, okay.
They're all factory painted. Some people have asked me, are they stuck on, but they're not. They're actually properly painted.
Yeah. They are a particularly nice touch to the bonnet, aren't they?
The thing I like about this car is the flow. You know, like you can see where the air goes. You can just see. And Fabio Manzoni, that designed this car and many other Ferraris, he had a philosophy that you should be able to draw the lines of a car in a single stroke of a pen.
Okay.
And so you see that. You see where the air goes, and it hooks up here. And I just like that line.
Yeah.
I didn't originally picture myself flying an F12. They don't photograph well a lot of times, but I saw an F12 down the street near my home one day, and I was absolutely flabbergasted. I looked at the car like, what is that? They have so much street presence because they're so wide, and that doesn't normally come across in photos. So I was thinking about getting an F12 Berlinetta, and then they announced the TDF, and so that was a long journey for me to find a TDF because they're very difficult to acquire. These are a limited edition, 799 of them built in the world, and I feel very, very blessed to be able to own one.
Wow. First time actually being not only close to one, but actually seeing one inside. There are some elements that I didn't kind of expect. I didn't expect like the aluminium flooring or
the design brief.
Yeah, that's the specs. Yeah.
Yeah, the design brief for the TDF was race car for the road.
Okay.
And so everything about this has been designed with that aluminium line. That's what TDF stands for. Ferrari won the Tour de France motor race, not the cycling race. I think it was 5 years in a row before they retired the car. And so this was a homage to those racing days. And so when they released this car, everything about it was race car for the road. There is, I think about 40% of the engine elements are from the FXX program, which is their hyper track car program. There are lots of things you don't realise. These are functional. They're to vent air out of the wheel wells to keep the back of the car down.
Yeah.
The rear windscreen was redesigned to give it downforce without a wing. So very clever design. There's a DRS system. There's active aero underneath, little vents that open and close depending on what you're doing.
The whole setup there is lovely. There's carbon fibre everywhere on it as well, isn't there?
Yep. Maybe not as much as the next car, but
that is spectacular. But I think we might grab this one out into the sunlight. The yellow and the seats and the spec's beautiful.
Thank you.
So I'll pop the hood.
As much as I love the racing car, I do love the TDF.
Oh, it's pretty inside.
Really?
Just like the book we were looking at.
Yes.
Only a car person could open the lid of a car and go, oh, it's pretty inside.
Yes, that's true.
But look at it. It's so clean as well. And I think that's a measure of the man that owns it, but even so, it's...
I don't clean the engine very often. Did you notice I said never? I didn't say never. Very often.
Very often. And can we talk about it? Servicing?
Servicing, yes.
Yeah, because we were talking about it earlier. I'm horrified at the thought of servicing a Ferrari when I think about my 930 and things like that. They're an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
It feels a bit of a myth with a Ferrari that it's a, you know, it's a killer every time you need to take it in for a service.
Yeah, look, some of that reputation is deserved, some of it's not.
Perhaps on the older cars?
Yeah, like you took, you know, a Voxer or something like that. Those cars they cost a lot of money to service just because parts.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the modern Ferraris, they're extremely affordable. It sounds hilarious to say that about a Ferrari, but they're extremely affordable to run in terms of maintenance.
Yeah.
The new cars all have 5 years included servicing, so you don't pay for servicing for the first 5 years.
Which is great.
Yep. And we were having this conversation before. The estimate for my next service on my TDF, which has just come out of its warranty or its service period, will be something in the range of $1,500 to $1,700, depending on what needs to be done.
Which is amazing.
I think it's quite acceptable.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah. You
I've paid that much on a Range Rover.
Yeah.
You know.
So we're going to move away from the TDF just for a moment, but we will take it outside. Car stacker. Two not dissimilar cars, horsepower-wise.
These two?
Yeah.
Identical horsepower.
Identical horsepower.
Slightly different engines though.
Yeah.
Yep.
One's naturally aspirated, the other one's...
They're both twin turbo.
Both twin turbo. Okay.
Twin turbo V8. Have a guess which one's faster?
Well, I'm going to pick on a track. I'd imagine the race car is, but genuinely, I think the Pista is a quicker car.
Straight line down the straight at Phillip Island, the Pista's faster.
Ah.
Yes. Less drag.
Yeah.
But around the corner.
Well, that's what I was
No
going to
contest.
say. Yeah, I was going to say, as soon as you get to a corner, I'd imagine that's a completely different car.
That will be 6-8 seconds a lap faster.
Yeah, and I hadn't noticed it here, but you can kind of see how the toe's set up on the car. It's very different, especially when you kind of compare the two there. The toe is very different, isn't it?
Very different, yeah. And manoeuvring it around is, you do a 3-point turn in that and you do a 10-point turn in that.
Okay. So Pista-wise, spec very similar to the TDF.
Yes.
Intentionally.
Well, I love the colour. I think the colour is
Yeah.
subtle and beautiful, but it's not my car.
No.
That is my wife's car.
Yes.
And so it is done with a touch of class that she has that I don't have.
Probably do it a disservice here. Red carbon fibre, but it's almost like a Bordeaux-ish carbon fibre.
You're very good. So the colour, as per the number plate, the colour is called Rosso Lucido.
Okay.
So Lucido means bright, shiny.
Yeah.
Italian. Yeah. So it's Rosso Lucido, but very good pickup because the interior trim is Bordeaux.
Okay. Okay, so that's where we got that.
Let me show you the interior trim.
Let's have a look.
We can't quite take the roof off while it's under there.
No. Okay. So there we go, there's the interior. And again, a good selection of carbon fibre.
There'd be probably a few different opinions on this, but I've been told this is the most highly spec'd Pista in Australia, probably one of the most highly spec'd in the world.
Yeah.
It's quite a journey speccing a Ferrari from scratch. You spend 3-4 months collecting photos and trying things on the online configurator, but the colours are never quite real. And then, doing this one, I saw some photos of a car in Russia, which was not matte. So it was a gloss aluminium colour, but it had red carbon on it. And I thought, oh wow, what a great combination. So that started to get us leaning towards this. But then you have to go into every individual element. Is do you want carbon inlays in the door? How do you want your doors done? How do you want your seats designed? Everything. It's like building a house. How do you want your taps? How do you want your curtains? And so it becomes a bit overwhelming at times. And then you put in your spec, and then there's a period of a couple of months where the spec is still open to be allowed to be changed, and then you go to, I think it's red 40 is the status, and once it's red 40 you're not allowed to change anything, and then you hear nothing for months and months and months until the car gets scheduled in to be built. And so it's over a year till your car arrives, and when you do something a little bit out there, like this one, it becomes quite nerve-wracking. I should have explained it a little bit.
We won't pick that up. Yeah, I guess, because on the configurator it kind of looks one way, I guess, and then
you don't see things like the subtlety of the matte aluminium on a configurator. You kind of get an impression, but you don't get the...
Yeah, okay. Because there one, yeah. Yeah, because very unique spec. I don't know if you call it, I don't think it's brave in the manner that it's done. Like, it's not wild, but I think it really suits the car.
It's not wild, it's not like doing a rose-coloured Porsche.
No. No, you're right. But yeah, I think on its own, it's a standout, and I'm a big fan of the carbon fibre on it. I think that was a really, really nice choice. And then obviously with the TDF, it's a lovely matching combo.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. And I think there's something just beautifully pretty about this car, the Pista.
I'm always surprised with them because we went out on a drive. How long ago was that? 6 months ago, maybe?
Yeah,
God, time flies.
Time does fly.
Yeah, it always looks, in my mind, they kind of look quite small when they're parked up.
Yeah.
But then when you were behind me driving along, it's so wide.
Yeah.
It is.
It is. Try driving it in underneath the hoist here and you get a bit of a
Yeah.
sense of how wide it is.
Yeah, it just looked so that it wasn't the general size of the car, it was just the width of the car. When you were behind me, I was like, oh wow, I'd not, that perception, and then seeing it in your rear view mirror it's a different ball game altogether.
That's true. Yeah.
Obviously a bit of a racer because we have got a simulator here as well.
Yeah.
So there is some time spent on this.
I always swore if I bought a Ferrari, I would never buy a red Ferrari. So the irony was not lost on me or my wife when we decided to buy this one. But this is the launch spec of the Challenge, 488 Challenge. So this is the actual livery it came out in. So in this case, I'll go with the launch colour.
So how long have you had this for?
We got this in October last year, so
Okay.
a year and a bit.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So this year we've been doing Challenge Series, which Ferrari have been running for a group of Challenge owners around the country.
And that's all around Australia?
Yeah, round one was Sydney Motorsport Park.
Yeah.
And round two was the Bend. Round three was Phillip Island. There was a fourth round, but unfortunately due to some last minute logistics problems, the round in New Zealand couldn't go ahead.
Okay.
Great shame, but these things happen.
A lefty?
Well, they're a one design car, so all Challenge cars are identical. The only thing you can customise on them is the paint.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
I guess because there would have been, well, how many of them were made? Because I guess they have a series, not only here in Australia, they'll have one Europe, England, US.
Yes.
So there'll probably be a few hundred of them, potentially, maybe?
It's in the hundreds, it's in the low hundreds.
Yeah.
There's less of these than there are TDFs in the country.
Yeah, I assume that. And this is not a car that is going to get a number plate either, for a collection of reasons.
Definitely not.
There has been a discussion about taking it out on the road today, but the discussion was short and didn't live very long, so that won't happen at all today. It's actually nice to see it right up on the hoist because then I don't have to crouch down. But there she is, there's down the exhaust pipe. I don't get to see that view very often at all. Wow. That wing is perfect for my 356.
It's gone, I'll know where it is.
Yeah. I just need to find somebody who has a bad day one day and then cracks it and throws their wing away, and then the next thing that's bolted to my car.
Yeah.
So I think we're done inside. We'll see what we can get outside. Just before we go outside, we've opened up the Pista engine bay. There we go. I think we've got some focus. There it is. But the carbon fibre on the inside as well. That's a hell of a spec.
Yeah, there's carbon fibre down the
It
front
goes
end there that you
all
can't
the
even
way,
see.
yeah. Look at that. Wow. Because I don't know if it's the paint colour gives it that, when it's sat just there parked, that it gives you a feeling that the car's a lot smaller than what it is. Because then when you get in it, and even when you see them driving down the road, they're big because it's got scale to it by the dotted lines on the side of the size of the road. But the paint gives it a petiteness. Isn't it? It's going to be a lovely weekend, I think. It's such a unique sound, isn't it? Just instantly recognisable.
The bloke looks over at me and he goes, "What sort of car's that, mate?" I said, "It's a Ferrari F12 TDF." He goes, "Ah, right, I thought so." And he says, points to his wife, he goes, "She said it was a Mustang because they had a horse on it." Remember the discussion we were having about the rev range?
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't quite get to 4,000 revs. Oh! So to say, it sounds cliche, but there's nothing like a Ferrari F12. The gearbox on this thing is so blindingly fast between the gears. It's just snap, 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 you don't feel it. How's this? This is an F1 gearbox.
Is it?
Yeah. It's good, it gets a lot of looks, and they've just released the A12C, the A12 Competizione, which is like that limited edition version of the A12. And I kind of look at it and I just go, oh yeah, it's out there, but it just put it next to this car, and this has got all the tweaks and
Yeah.
fins and everything in it. It's just not quite the same. It's an impressive car, and no doubt it'll be epic to drive. And I've always liked GT cars. You know, my F-Type was like this big one.
Yeah.
For me, it's kind of like, no, I'm not compensating.
It's an unbelievable sound. It sounds like a Formula 1 car.
You can't really push it when the tyres are cold though.
No, it has a little bit of a wiggle. I don't know if it's because the tyres are cold and...
And you know, they're looking at the car, and Georgie had never been to a Ferrari before ever. I said, come on, we'll go for a drive. I'll show you what fake celebrity looks like. So we just kind of drove around Brighton, streets of Brighton and up Church Street before they put in all the speed humps. And as we're driving up Church Street, she goes, "Everybody's looking at us." And I went, "No, they're looking at the car." She went, "Yeah, that's why I call it fake celebrity. It's nothing to do with us."
But there we go, a bit of a bucket list item ticked off today. We had recorded the outro with Scott at the garage. However, Scott was absolutely brilliant. It kind of took our breath away to have the opportunity to be anywhere near a TDF, never mind going for a passenger ride in it and listening to that beautiful tone of that Ferrari. Just an absolute privilege. So, like we said, thank you so much, Scott, for the opportunity today. Absolutely loved it. We've got loads more coming. Please give the video a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we will see you later. See you later, guys. Bye.